There is only one thing in this world that can make everyone turn around, and that is to make a person's execution ability as strong as addiction to playing games. Playing day and night without sleep or food. If a person can do this in serious work, he must be a danger amongst men, even if he's not successful. To put it simply, most ordinary people want to change their fate. The key is to lack one thing, which is the devil's execution ability. If you don't have the patience to watch this video, I believe you are never able to acquire this ability in your life. You must have read a lot of cognition and methodologies on increasing execution in your life, but you still fish for 3 days and dry the net for 2 days, constantly feeling guilt and self-blaming. Every time you consume content, you're full of passion. After a few days, it becomes difficult to do things. You feel tired and you hear some negative comments, so you back down. I believe you were addicted to this vicious cycle in your life, so I want to help you break some things first. Whether a person can be self-disciplined and whether the execution becomes abnormal. First, you have to establish a cognition that strong execution is an ability, not an cognition. So no matter how many cognitions and methodologies you read, it is useless. Ability contains two dimensions. One is energy, and that is when our body is in different energy states, our abilities are different. Doing things in a normalized manner. For example, if I normalized my ability benchmark is to be able to lift a 150 kilogram barbell, then when I have plenty of energy, it will be easy for me to do things below this ability benchmark. And it will be very easy to get positive feedback and be praised. I can even get money rewards because my ability solves someone's problem. I can get vanity and superiority. And this vanity, superiority, and feeling of defeating others, etc., money also gives me the power of human nature to defeat human nature. What is the power of human nature to defeat human nature? The reason why we cannot be self-disciplined and have poor execution is that the things we do are too painful. Biggest enemy of a person with poor execution and lack of self-resilience is consumption. Energy consumption and emotional pain. When energy consumption is huge and there is negative feedback, we don't want to do it. We are negatively evaluated and embarrassed emotionally. So we don't want to do it. In other words, the stronger a person's normal ability benchmark is, the stronger his execution will be when doing something. And if this thing can be obtained, the higher his positive feedback and rewards, the stronger his execution will be. On the contrary, when the task he performs is beyond his ability benchmark, he will show great emotional pain and excessive consumption, and thus want to give up. This is the core reason why most people have poor execution, intermediate hesitation and satisfaction throughout their lives, and continue to live a life of idealness and waiting for death. For example, my student was reciting the 3 sentences of improving the social security system, improving the distribution policy, and narrowing the income gap. He couldn't memorize them after a long time. Oh, it makes me feel dizzy when I see memorizing. I made an analogy for him. For example, if you raise a lot of chickens, you build a fence as a guarantee to prevent the chickens from flying out. And then you have to disturb this feed to these chickens every day. You raise chickens and sell them for money. An income gap between you and the higher neighbor is narrowed. It only took me a few seconds to memorize it, and I remember it for a very long time. Then my emotional pain was small, and his emotional pain was great. The greater the emotional pain, the less he could persist and the less he wanted to do it. When our ability has not been formed to a certain high level, if you do not have the ability to go against human nature and raise your ability benchmark to a high level, you avoid doing this thing for the rest of your life. Second point, as for energy, most of us have a terrible energy management. They release their energy into various enjoyable events. When they want to do serious things, they find that they have very little energy left. So the best way to manage energy is to do serious things first, and then do some enjoyable things to relax. But this is against human nature, because the motivation provided by those enjoyable things in life is far greater than those things that are right and valuable for men and allow you to change your fate. That is, To have a good time and vent that energy is far greater than the motivation brought by doing a long-term effort facing difficulties. In other words, more than 95% of people cannot manage their energy well. Their energy is defeated by their greedy emotions and their nature of being king on having a good time. Therefore, people who cannot do it against human nature cannot manage their energy, and they will be mediocre all their lives. All awesome people are not those who do not enjoy themselves or have a good time, but they will definitely make progress and hard work valuable. People who do things every day and have a good time and relax without worries and are absolutely self-disciplined and have strong execution do not exist at all. So we said earlier that those difficulties but correct. High-value motivations that face challenges are far less than those small things that make people feel refreshed and happy. Will these things provide people with a sense of refreshment? But the cycle is too long. We have a name called Delayed Gratification Life Certificate. More than 95% of people can't delay gratification at all. I wrote a book, and this book became a bestseller. I enjoyed it for 2 years. I revised it every day. I wrote it over and over again. I forced myself to write a certain amount every day. Many times I caught a cold, got sick, sneezed, and finished writing. As long as I didn't want to do it one day, I didn't want to do it every day. I told my trusted state, I am the same as most ordinary people. That is, you can understand it this way. A person with a strong execution ability is essentially his ability to go against human nature. This ability to go against human nature must be maintained for a long time before it can become excellent. I will talk about the flywheel effect here. What is the flywheel effect? You will know it when you have played a spinning top when you are a child. At the beginning, you have to pull it very hard. When it spins stably, you only need to pull it lightly for 20 to 30 seconds to maintain its high-speed rotation. That is to say, it is very difficult to stick to anything at the beginning, and it consumes a lot of energy because it is not in your comfort zone. Only when your normalized ability benchmark is improved, you will feel less and less effort. Generally, smart people always insist on doing one thing. After a lot of training, you optimize the circulation system for doing this thing. And this circulation system is like a comfortable template, constantly putting the new output products. And this time, they will slowly feel less tired, and the normalized ability benchmark for doing this thing will be improved. But people with poor anti-human ability always change their minds, are afraid of wolves in front of the tigers behind, and start to retreat when they encounter a little difficulty. When they encounter a bit of no feedback, their brains will constantly start programming. I can't do it. I don't have a talent. I'm not this material. Don't do it. Don't waste your life. Stop the loss of in time. Believe in your life. Such situations are not rare. Many times we will think that we are driven away by other people's negative comments, but in fact, it's not. Others give you a little negative evaluation just like that. The sparks of firecrackers in the end. It is you who explodes. It is you who are always complaining about yourself, saying that you are not good at this or that, and saying a bunch of messy things that make you can't do. People are mainly ruined by themselves, since most people are particularly easy to be ruined by themselves. Many people in our lives are attacked others. As long as they are attacked, they will start to exhaust themselves, and then they will be useless and explode. Then they will feel that this is not suitable and that is not suitable, and they would start to be confused. If there is a good opportunity, a good job, and you are a group of people in your life who are particularly easy to be solved by others, they will start to complain about themselves and say that they can't do it. Such people are not good. So they will not be competitive. Scare them a little, and they will not compete with you or snatch from you. So in fact, this society is not so competitive because most people will start to exhaust themselves when they counter a little difficulty and a little negative evaluation. Here, I quote a passage from Elon Musk, which can make you realize the truth. Musk said, "Don't worry that others will surpass you, because most people can't persist for a long time. What you needed to do is to defeat yourself. Don't pray for an easy way. Don't pray for the power to cope with difficulties. That is, the power to face difficulties head on. Life is a marathon, not a speed competition. Most of us are always worried that others will surpass us when we are executing and persisting. Others are very efficient, and I am very inefficient. In fact, he thinks too much. As long as you stick to one thing for 1 or 2 years, more than 95% of people will definitely give up. As long as there is no external supervision. It is not a special exam, staring at the regulations, and he basically gives up if he demands it from himself. If you choose something and want to do it seriously, you can manage your body's energy in an anti-human way. You steer at the minimum standard amount every day. How much to do it carefully, do it seriously, and don't be perfunctory, just like Musk said. Don't pray to do those simple things. Do these comfortable things. But gain the anti-human power to face difficulties head-on. This power to face difficulties head-on. This is the most deadly, and this power will make you stronger and stronger. If you do comfortable, simple, and joyful things every day, you will not make any progress, and you will not be able to defeat 99% of people. You don't have to force yourself to become a spit-vomiting idiot. You just need to follow the steps and do it every day. Every day, you should exercise your ability and strength to face difficulties. After talking about the 2 dimensions of ability, let me talk about what kind of person a person can be if he can be a self-disciplined for a long time. His personality traits. The following point of view will be more venomous. If the psychological quality is not good, just put on makeup. The successful people I have seen are all paranoid. It does not mean that paranoids will definitely succeed. Of course, we can also call this word tenacious. What are the characteristics of a paranoid? He's very firm, that is. What other people think is irrelevant to him and will never be important. I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years, and basically every day someone tells me that I am a waste. I can't do it. And it is meaningless, but I don't care at all. Paranoids think what they think is the most important, and what they think is the most important. They are very firm in their own ideas, choices, and executions, without the slightest doubt, even if they fail for 3, 5, or even 7 years. Because that's how I got through it. I have been doing self-media for 3 years, and I don't have any traffic. But I still firmly believe that I am a genius, because I started. The fact is, if you are really talented after 3 or 5 years, if you are paranoid, you will definitely have a small harvest or big achievement, because 99% people can't do what I do in self-media. Because I am a paranoid and I have more than 100 fans. I have written books and sold millions of copies. I am not smart, so I choose to grind a little bit every day, and I have been writing books for the past 2 years, grinding every day. And I don't know if my books are selling well. Who cares anyway? I think I am a genius. No matter how you scold me, I think I am a genius. When others scold me, I think of myself as a lion, and those hounds are barking at me, and I will bite you to death in a moment. But I am the image in my heart. Wild beasts always walk alone and always have their own firm ideas. Only garbage will gather in groups, and they use mental attacks to insult others and make them stop doing things. People's offensive language is like a slap in the face. Some people are slapped too much and slowly go crazy. This kind of wind is not obvious. Some winds are in the form of being submissive. Some are afraid of others' negative comments. And some are anxious all day long, fearing that they will be eliminated. So they constantly blame themselves for being lazy today and doing things poorly. I am lazy today, so I am lazy. I do things slowly, just slowly. It's useless to say that I do it every day anyway. So people like us will not have too much mental consumption. I scold myself every day for doing things poorly, and then I hate myself to death. And I haven't done things well. So many people are. They are timid and doubt their abilities when they are scolded. Some people are irritable and angry when they are scolded. In short, this kind of offensive language is a weapon for morals. Awesome people are tenacious, or you can say is paranoid. Offensive language has a reverse effect on his insanity. The more you say he is bad, the more he proves that he's awesome and talented. And this insanity becomes a kind of like the fuel of the rocket. I originally decided to practice today, but once you scold me, I will do 100 things and forget about food and sleep. If you can see through the essence of ordinary people's offensive language, it is to control you at the spiritual level, so that you don't do it, make you as mediocre as him, make you the same level as him, or persecute you into an inconspicuous madman. Then you have to learn to do the opposite. You can't scold me. It will never affect my work. I will do what I should do. I will do a little bit every day, optimize every day, improve every day, and reconstruct my circulation system every day. It will be easier and easier to do things. Sooner or later, positive feedback will come. What are you afraid of? You scold me and I will fight poison with poison. It depends on whether you are psychologically fragile or I am psychologically fragile. Generally, ordinary people have poor psychological quality. You fight him once, 5 times, 10 times, and finally, the person with weak psychological energy will be defeated. It's just that he killed 100 enemies but lost 80 of his own, and he couldn't stand it, so he gave up after a while. So, I used to say to those haters who scolded me, if you have the guts to scold me, just keep scolding me for a year. Maybe you can become a person with excellent acquaintance, right? If you don't have the perseverance to scold others and wanting to succeed, there is no way. If you are often attacked on the road to success, I tell you the truth. If you release your aggression, you'll often not have any mental illness, nor will you go crazy. Don't tell yourself that I want to be generous, I want to be tolerant, I want to have a pattern. That's all other people's PV of you. Silence will never be your usual Asian heart. Most people with poor execution tend to have an unsteady personality. They think too much about negative consequences during their actions. They want to retreat when they encounter a little difficulty or little problem. They're extremely sensitive to negative comments and are particularly prone to retreating them from difficulties and setbacks. They cannot stand the sarcasm of others. They tremble when others question them. They doubt themselves when they read various information on the internet. They believe this and that. They have no opinion of their own. Even if they have their own opinions, others will change their opinions in 2 days. Oh, it seems that what they said is right. To put it bluntly, his brain is a rat wreck for others. He lives in the contradictions. He keeps challenging and always wants to choose the perfect choice. It's hard for me to see how he can achieve anything in his life. In fact, the things you can do in your life are connected by the things you do. These things connected on the line must be the same thing that brings together the same achievement. Just like I wrote a book 2 years and worked in self-media for 7 years. If you want to encounter a little difficulty to change, waver, and so on, it's a mess. This kind of personality trait is very easy to have. That is to say, if you are a woman, you should never find a husband like this. You're definitely not able to become a great man. So we must cultivate our firm personality in our daily life. I've determined that if I'm wrong, I am wrong. I even said that if you are firm to a certain extent to do things, and executing to a certain extent, the wrong can be right. Because all choices in this world will be better and better because of firm execution, as long as you're willing to work hard and make progress. That is to say, if you do things with mentality, there will be no so-called wrong decisions, as long as you face difficulties and overcome them. The length of time is not enough. How to cultivate your firm personality, or we are talking about the film, you. This film can be crazy. Usually, your own ideas are the most important. It does not mean that you don't listen to others' opinions, but that you become very firm and unswerving in your countless choices, confirmations, and competitions in your life. You must become a person who influences other people's choices, not a person who is influenced by others. When you are really wrong, it is also in your heart. You should change and adjust yourself. Don't be easily controlled by others and led by others to do things. Have perseverance and ambition. Here I give you one last piece of advice. Never let others insult you, because a person who allows others to insult him for a long time and who cannot resist firmly in the process of being insulted again and again will never become a person with a strong personality in his life. And his execution ability will not be much better. We can see many people like that in life, who yell, "Oh, my boyfriend is such a scumbag. I said I'd leave him, but she was very good to me before." Just like this kind of person, he will never be a firm person. There are only two kinds of people in this world. One is a firm paranoid. As long as he chooses the right decision, he will always have integrity. There is another kind of person, a severe person who likes to be suppressed and belittled by others. These people control their mental internal consumption every day. Their life energy is not in their own hands. They may have a lot of thick black studies on a lot of messy things in their minds. Can interpersonal relationship be successful by relying on others? It is difficult for a person who is very poor to obtain significant resources and success because of sympathy of others or interpersonal relationships. For a person to be successful, he must have very rare abilities, be able to bring benefits to others, be rich in himself, have rich abilities and have rich resources, and then add a little bit of emotional intelligence. Okay, today's sharing stop here. Thank you for watching and see you next time.